now in public session. Members of the
Recording
Board
in
of Trustees
progress.
Committee on Student Affairs and Special Programs, please respond present when you hear your name. Trustee Clark should be joining us any minute. Trustee Wilkin.
Present.
Great. Trustee Arvanites.
Present.
Trustee Linares Garcia.
Present.
Great. Professor Hugo Fernandez.
Present.
Professor Chevalier, the faculty alternate. Okay. Giovanni Picant, the student rep.
Present.
Terrific. And Lennon Jackham, the student alternate. No. Okay. So this public meeting of the City University Board Committee on Student Affairs and Special Programs is called to order. Pursuant to the New York State Legislature's recent extension of the suspension of required in-person meetings under the Open Meetings Law, the meeting's being held remotely via video conference with access to the public session available on the CUNY Board of Trustees website. A copy of the calendar and the agenda items is also available online at the CUNY Board of Trustees website. Additional items may be added during the meeting. And as a reminder, please mute so we can ensure that everyone can hear. I will now take a roll call attendance for members of the Chancellery. Members of the Chancellery, please respond present when you hear your name. Chancellor Matos Rodriguez.
Ready for action?
Excellent. Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Dan Lemons. I don't see him yet. General Counsel and Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs, Derek Davis.
Present.
Interim Vice Chancellor Denise Maybank.
Present.
And I apologize for, okay, President Jennifer Rabb, the COPS liaison.
Here, thank you.
No problem. Deputy to the Vice Chancellor, Ian James. Not yet. Farouk Abdallah, the Deputy Director at NYPIRG.
Present.
Terrific, welcome. And Sadia Hoke, Brooklyn College student, also talking about NYPIRG today. Welcome.
Thank you. Present.
Okay, so the first item is a report by the Vice Chancellor. So maybe by the time you finish your report, and I see Ian has now joined us. Denise, she will have joined us, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I want to begin today by acknowledging the crisis in the Ukraine. We have students from the region to whom we have made outreach through the offices of student affairs across the university. We recognize these are circumstances that will be anxiety provoking and frightening for those with family and friends currently in the region. So we extend access to supportive services and express our interest in your well-being during these concerning times. I want to focus my report today on student mental health. Within the past week, the Mental Health Association of New York State released a white paper titled Mental Health and Higher Education in New York, a call for a public policy response. It seems timely then to address the CUNY response to the mental health needs of our students. The paper presents areas of concern that would benefit from increased awareness among legislators, and they recommend two broad approaches to mental health public policies for higher education that focus on prevention and responsiveness to student needs. Associated with prevention is a need for mental health literacy. CUNY has partnered with Cognito to address this particular space. We are working at expanding the use of this training tool throughout the university. Cognito is a tool that offers role-play simulations to build the capacity to lead real-life conversations with those in distress. Many of our mental health professionals have been a part of this experience, and we are looking to extend it further within the university community. We have 4 campuses currently working with the JED Foundation in the JED Campus program. The mental health literacy aspect of the JED Foundation's work is significant, and we are happy to support their public policy advocacy. We have also worked with the Steve Fund in the past and have co-sponsored an event highlighting service provision to students of color. We have campus substance abuse work around prevention and screening with grant funding from the New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. Although the grant will be ending this year, we are working to maintain the e-checkup to go screening tools for cannabis, alcohol, and tobacco. We are also working with the state on moving forward with awareness and prevention of substance use and abuse after the termination of the grant. The other area that was being advocated for in the white paper was mental health parity. For us, we are focused most on mental health services because we are not a university with a medical center. And so we do have this focus, and we are hoping to expand services as we look forward to budget increases associated with mental health services in the future. As a part of my report last month, I shared that during the 2020 to 21 academic year, over 25,000 students utilized counseling services throughout CUNY, with nearly 77,000 clinical services provided. These numbers are consistent with the previous years, indicating the success with which mental health counseling transitioned to tele-mental health services. To examine more directly the services provided, Ryan Kehrmeyer, the University Director of Mental Health and Wellness, shared the following details. Of the 77,000 services provided, up to 40% are indirect services. In other words, outreach events, mental health related community events, tabling, information sessions, and the like. This is a difficult number to quantify as each school or each campus has different bandwidth for indirect services. The breakdown of the remaining 60% is that of direct services. 80% of our direct services are in individual psychotherapy, 9% in group psychotherapy, 1% in family psychotherapy, 2% in medication management, 1% in referral and information services, 5% in academic support, and then there is the other category at 6%. An associated critical concern then is how we respond when student behavior or misbehavior is the result of the distress they may be experiencing due to mental illness. I therefore draw our attention to the policy and procedures amended by the board in October of 2021 under the behavior-related medical withdrawal and re-enrollment policy and procedures. COVID-19 has likely exacerbated an already challenging mental health crisis in our city, state, and country, and CUNY has not and will not be immune to these challenges. The university has in fact witnessed a growing number of mental health related student incidents that require new resources, new tools, and new tools that prior to COVID-19 may not have been sufficiently available to faculty, staff, and students. In addressing these new challenges, the university will need to rethink our policies, protocols, resources, and strategies that enable the university to support our students and equip our faculty and staff to meet the needs of our student community. Learning how to re-engage in the classroom and on the campuses and training individuals for the early identification of students in crisis and in need of assistance is critical to the overall health of our community. In the end, these matters cannot be and should not be dealt with as disciplinary matters unless absolutely necessary. Rather, they must be addressed as matters of mental and/or physical health of the individual with compassion and understanding at each level of engagement. We cannot underestimate the level of trauma COVID-19 this public health emergency has had on our city and in turn on our CUNY community. Therefore, we cannot rely on old ways to address these new challenges. To that end, academic affairs, student affairs and enrollment management, the General Counsel's Office, and specifically the Senior Vice Chancellor for Legal Affairs will begin to review our policies and procedures for these areas and make appropriate recommendations to the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees for any additional amendments and revisions to appropriately support CUNY students. We will likely bring to our next meeting information for consideration and action. With that, I will conclude my report because I know we have more to hear from our NYPIRG colleagues.
So she's still not on. Sandra, are you there? I think what we're going to do is I see Hugo has his hand up. Sandra, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you. We can do the minutes if we want to just, we can come back to anything on voting. The minutes, we can do at another meeting. So if you wanted to call on Hugo, and then we'll move on to the NYPIRG report.
Yes, if you can send me what's,
I got it right. I mean, I think they sent it to you already. But Hugo, if you wanted to answer the question, there's really nothing else other than the NYPIRG report as the information item.
would like to move it forward, that's fine too, so we can move ahead.
Great.
I try to contact our chair and send her.
Yeah, they've talked to her husband and we're okay. So Professor Fernandez, did you want to?
Yeah, all I was going to say is I just texted her and she's saying she can't get on and she needs someone to link her in, which I don't know what that means.
I know, Tisha, I know, they're talking to her. So anyway, thank you for that. All right, so Vice Chair Wilkins, did you want to ask for the report on NYPIRG?
Yes, the next report would like to continue the meeting with the report on NYPIRG. Thank you.
So I'll gladly do the introduction of our guest today. And we have two people with us. The Deputy Director for the New York Public Interest Research Group, Farouk Abdallah, welcome. And accompanying Farouk is Sadia Huck, a Brooklyn College student who I'm sure we all will be looking forward to hearing from.
Thank you for having us. Sadia, do you want to start us off?
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me fine?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Awesome. I'm on campus, so hopefully it goes through. Hi, everyone. My name is Sadia Hawk. I am the chairperson of the New York Public Interest Research Group. I'm a senior and a biology major at Brooklyn College. I've been a proud member of the Brooklyn College NYPIRG chapter since 2020. I'm grateful to share my experience with you, as well as some points from our annual report. Founded by a group of Queens College students in 1973, NYPIRG has been a vehicle for students to learn important leadership skills. Personally, NYPIRG has been a space where I can expand what I'm learning beyond the classroom in a hands-on, real-life perspective. I'm a science major, and I like to say that every student who engages with NYPIRG, despite their major, greatly benefits from the experience. NYPIRG students learn public speaking and research skills, event planning, and coalition building. With NYPIRG, we are able to use issues we care about, like public health, protecting the environment, and empowering students to vote, to learn and apply these skills. NYPIRG teaches students about civic responsibility and understanding realities and threats to our democracy. NYPIRG is a nonpartisan, statewide nonprofit funded and directed by students. We empower students through a host of programs to engage their passions and develop professional and interpersonal skills through organizing, advocacy, and fruitful dialogue. We have an internship program where students earn class credit, semesterly conferences, public workshops, and events. Like most student groups and services, NYPIRG is funded through the student activity fee by a campus-wide referendum. We offer a refund to any students interested in receiving their portion of their activity fee. Transparency is of the utmost importance, and we submit activity reports to each college president, campus library, and to the Board of Trustees. Unity created by the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a hybrid of remote and on-campus learning. Despite these challenges, NYPIRG was able to successfully adjust its students' outreach and activities to offer in-person and remote programming, continuing to offer dynamic opportunities to CUNY students. As I mentioned earlier, NYPIRG works on a wide range of projects and events decided by the Student Board of Directors. I'd like to highlight a few events and activities. With the aid of a full-time coordinator, students planned and participated in digital events hosted on video streaming services such as Zoom and Google Meet. Students also participated in numerous events and connected them with community leaders. Just to name a few, CUNY Law Professor Frank Deal, former Environmental Protection Agency Coordinator Judith Enck, New York State Attorney General Letitia James, Senior Policy Advisor for the New York City Mayor's Office of Climate Policy and Programs, Tasfia Naeem, U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins. Connecting interested students with community, NYPIRG worked with members of the community on mutual aid efforts in order to connect interested students with community needs. Facilitating these relationships during a health crisis allowed students to give back to their community by providing assistance and acting as a resource for other students in need. For voter registration, voter empowerment, and energizing the student vote, we provided over 15,000 CUNY students a direct link where they could check their voter registration status. Over 1,600 students were directly assisted with registering to vote or looking up their registration, distributed information about voting rights, absentee voting, and ranked choice voting, and conducted student get out of the vote efforts for the primaries and the general elections. They also participated in the CUNY Voter Project, National Voter Registration Day, Civic Olympics, and a student voter helpline. In closing, the past 2 years of my college career has been so rewarding because of the work I've done with NYPIRG. Making a difference in my college community and city is important for me and empowers me to continue the work of committing to my passions while being an ethical and consistent leader throughout my life. In the turbulence of the past few years, I am grateful to know that I have a community to lean on and work with when shaping the future I want to see. I want to thank you, the Board of the Trustees, for continuing to invest in students in every borough through the support of groups like NYPIRG. Thank you.
Sally, that is incredible report, and along with it was the interest of what you have done with voting, and along with that, in terms of the participation of your members under such very, very challenging times with regard to that. But and would like to know is at this point to move to second what we're in the process.
We don't need to, this was just an information item. So that's the whole agenda. And I would be remiss, sorry, but if you guys have more questions, obviously.
Right.
But I do want to say that I would be remiss if I did not mention that we were joined today by Chancellor Glenda Grace. You were not on our list, but I see you in our frame, so welcome. And the other student alternate, Lennon Jacob, is in attendance as well. Sorry, Trustee Wilkin.
Well, I am sure some of the other members of the committee would like to share in a conversation with you. I think I saw Trustee Averides' hand go up.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to thank NYPIRG, especially for getting involved. A young Michael Arvanites actually was a NYPIRG student at State University of New York at Cortland. And that led into a very productive career in politics that has put me to being on this committee. So without NYPIRG, who knows if I would have even been here to hear about NYPIRG. So thank you for participating. It needs the constant live stream of young people getting involved in the public interest. And thank you for that report.
Likewise, I'll take a moment to thank you all for the work. I know you're representing more students that are participating with NYPIRG and the work that you guys do. And it's so critical because at the end of the day, it's you know, setting a stage for what you're going to continue to do in the future in all your endeavors. And, you know, it plays such an important part and we're grateful and thankful for it. So.
I would just like to jump in, cite a great report. And I got my first start at CUNY in NYPIRG years ago as a freshman. And it's done incredible things, and you're doing incredible things, not only for CUNY, but for the city. And New Yorkers are extremely grateful for the work that you do. So I always excited to see the work that NYPIRG does. And I still partner up with them on my campus when I have time to cause good trouble. So continue causing that trouble.
Thank you all for your kind words.
Thank you for your.
That's everything, Trustee Wilkin, other than moving to adjourn.
Yes, is there any further discussion at this point? If not, I think this is an opportune time to adjourn the meeting and look forward to our next meeting and hope you have a good evening.
Is there a second to adjourn?
Second the motion to adjourn.
Thanks, everybody, for your patience. Have a great night.
Wait.
Have a good night.
Have a great night.
Thank you.